Welcome, Cookbook friends, to our Cookbook Divas podcast. We are your hosts, Kaiti and Carrie, and today we are going to talk about cookbooks designed for campers, camping, and the like. So, Carrie.
Hi.
You are not much of a camper, right?
Well, why do you think I called this podcast Cookbook Divas instead of like Cookbook Shopaholic? I am a diva. And I am barely even a glamper. Like, if I have to stay at a Best Western instead of a Hilton or a Westin or Sheraton, then I'm camping and very upset about it. But I did go to a couple of theme camping trips wherein I took the responsibility for bringing all this decorative shit and comfortable things, and I didn't make anybody else help me unload the car, haul it in, because it was my idea. I went to a pirate camping trip, and we had pirate flags and pirate tents and dressed like pirates, and we only ate food like stew and coconuts that we thought pirates ate, and oranges and rum, of course. And then I went to a glamping trip where I brought literal like feather beds, silk sheets, crystal dishes, porcelain,
Wow.
candles and flowers and vases, and made it all fancy for the first dinner. And then the second dinner, I'm like, I'm driving into town to go to Taco Bell. Anyway.
Wow.
But I'm willing to look through some camping cookbooks for the rest of you that enjoy camping.
Okay, that's good. Because I personally I love camping. Every time I've at least cooked for camping, I really enjoy it. I don't know what it is about cooking over a fire. Maybe it's the primitive feeling. I don't know.
I do like cooking. Yeah, I like cooking over a fire in my backyard where I have a bathroom nearby.
Sure, I can appreciate that. Yeah, it's hard to pass up a good bathroom, honestly. But yeah, so I really enjoy camping, especially like food, and I love exploring all of the camping cooking, and that's why I'm really excited about these cookbooks, because just last year I learned about wrapping everything up in foil and creating a foil meal, and I had no idea what that was, and it was the best thing I've ever had. It was so good. So I'm really excited to see what other cool things they have. The first cookbook that I want to talk about is Camper Van Cooking: From Quick Fixes to Family Feasts, 70 Recipes, all on the move. It comes out July 6th, so this year, and it's by Claire Thompson and Matt Williamson. So my parents are trying to do this thing. They want to go do this van camper lifestyle all of a sudden, and I keep wondering how, because my mom is quite a diva as well.
That's why I like your mom so much. Yay.
So I'm just wondering how, and they love cooking. Like, my family is really all about the cooking. So I'm just wondering how they're going to bring those elaborate, glorious meals with them while van cooking. So I feel like this would be something really useful for them. I love, in this particular cookbook, they, as it says, they provide feasts. And for me, whenever I think of van or camping, a lot of us are kind of just thinking for ourselves. It's not really a feast. And maybe that's just how I've cooked before. In the table of contents, the different chapters are, we've got first night meals and bakes, cooking on one hob, fireside cooking, breakfast and brunch, lunches and picnics, sweets and treats. Wow, I actually would not even know the difference between these recipes being like camper recipes versus just hanging out at home recipes, because they look so massive and delicious. So one example of that is like an egg fried rice with prawns, ginger, and peanuts. Wow.
I wonder if they've balanced it, though, because you can only bring so much food and supplies in your camper van. So I wonder if they carry it through, like, for the next day, you're going to use the peanuts and ginger in this other recipe or, something.
Yes, I think they have to, right? Because that would be such a waste if they weren't doing something like that. Because everything about camping and van cooking is always, like you said, it's all about, like, planning your meals and making sure you don't overpack. So I'm hoping that they do have something in here for that, but I'm not seeing anything so far for that. They do actually have an essential, like, equipment and basic store cupboard staples in here, which is actually really nice to have. But I do like that they provide recipes from all over. It's not just one region of the world, American staples, macaroni and hot dogs kind of thing. We've got all kinds of really interesting recipes, like a cherry chocolate, they call it a cherry chocolate mess. It sounds really good. Or a raspberry ripple rice pudding. Those are
I'm not a rice pudding person, but I bet if I'd been camping all day and I was cranky, that would cheer me up.
Oh, it would totally cheer me up, for sure. They have a paneer curry, which I was like, that sounds so good. So learning how to make all these things on the fly, this is really cool. And I kind of want to get this for my folks just because that's something that they probably want to do. So if you are into this kind of thing too, this is Camper Van Cooking, from quick fixes to family feast, 70 recipes all on the move. It comes out July 6th, so make sure to put that on your wish list.
I'm excited about my next book because it's not only for campers. It's called The Ultimate Outdoor Cookbook, All-Day Meals and Drinks for getting outside and camping, backpacking, or, in my case, backyard entertaining.
Yay!
It's by Linda Lee, and it came out April 27, and Linda Lee writes lots of camping-related cookbooks. You can learn to cook every meal of the day outside, from breakfast to dessert, with drinks in between. Drinks are so important.
Yes.
She teaches you how to use live fire, grills, foil packs, cast iron pans, Dutch ovens, planches, and some with a smoker. Love it, love it, love it. I'm going to peek inside, because I think I need this actually, because I'm going to do a lot of entertaining in my backyard this summer, even though everyone's vaccinated, pandemic, blah, blah, blah. I still love hosting outside, and the inside of my house is small and the outside is big. So,
Yes,
these
perfect.
chapters are getting started and setting up your outdoor kitchen. And then there's a breakfast chapter, feasting over the fire, feasting with foil packs, feasting with cast iron Dutch ovens and planches, feasting with the grill, feasting with smoke, outdoor sweets, and outdoor drinks. Love it. That's The Ultimate Outdoor Cookbook by Linda Lee.
Next up, we have Food by Fire, Grilling and Barbecue with Derek Wolf of Over the Fire Cooking. This came out May 25th. I have mentioned this before because it's such a good, really good cookbook, because he talks about direct heat and indirect heat, how to master using skillets or skewers and all kinds of tools. He's been basically researching global fire cooking for a really long time, like for at least a decade. So he's obsessed with fire cooking, live fire cooking. This is perfect for camping, because I don't understand. Speaking of last summer and the foil, it took us forever for us to get our food because we didn't know like the direct heat, indirect heat problem. So we faced an issue, and some of us accidentally put our food like too close to the fire, thinking, oh, that'll cook faster.
Did the some of us's name start with the letter K?
It was me. Yes. So, you're just waiting and waiting. And of course, like if you've gone on a big hike or something and you come back and you want to eat, and when it takes an hour and a half for your tiny little foil packet to finally be ready to eat, but your potatoes are still just a hair raw, it's a little disappointing.
That's frustrating.
It's totally frustrating. So I like this a lot, and the flavors are great. So his spice blends are one of the best in the line for Spiceology. Like, it's his best-selling product. So he loves flavor. He loves fire cooking. And yeah, the recipes are just, they sound super good. And they're usually a bit of a twist to them. Like, they're slightly unique in a lot of ways. So a few examples are Al Pastor skewered tacos. We have a dirty chipotle New York strip, a salt-baked red snapper, a herb brush basted bone-in ribeye. Oh, there's just so many things in here. And also sauces. He goes through sauces too. It's just a really wholesome, this is a flavorful, awesome cookbook. And he has a whole chapter for vegetables and sides. It's not just fully meat. So that is Food by Fire, Grilling and Barbecue with Derek Wolf, Over the Fire Cooking.
And I appreciate that it's not just meat too.
Yeah.
My next camping and outdoor cookbook is called Wild Child Adventure Cooking with Kids by Sarah Glover, and Kat Parker is the photographer. It came out on May 4, 2021. And I do like cooking outdoors with children, but the fire makes me nervous. But This cookbook invites kids of all ages to the table for mouth-watering, innovative outdoor fare. This is Sarah Glover's first cookbook, and she wants to show us how liberating, satisfying, and easy it is to cook beautiful, healthy food outdoors. And I'm going to peek at the table of contents if I can find it. I cannot, but I see she's encouraging us to play house. She's sharing what it was like to try to keep up with her brothers, etc. I see a recipe for abalone. So that would be fun to cook by the beach or by the water. There's a fire cake recipe with some apricots. Wow. Lobster rollovers, prawns on sticks. That's about all I can see for a sneak preview. That is Wild Child, Adventure Cooking with Kids by Sarah Glover.
I do like the concept of that cookbook. You know, I grew up with camping, and I kind of wish I had more of an integration with nature. You know, it was more, as an adult, I have a larger appreciation for sitting next to a fire and just, you know, drinking beer or whatever, you know, as campers usually do, just chilling, you know, and enjoying nature. Both kids, like, kids don't just sit around and enjoying each other's company. Like, they have to go wild and free, and I really enjoy that. I think that's a really cool concept.
I like to invite people over, and I give the adults a beer or wine and cocktail and sit them next to the fire, and then I tell the kids to go in my backyard and find sticks to poke the fire with and bring and kindling, and they run all over and tire themselves out because that's so fun, except for this one friend that has a lazy kid that won't help.
Of course. There's always one. There is always. My next cookbook is the Campfire Cast Iron Cookbook, the ultimate cookbook of hearty and delicious cast iron recipes. This is a cider mill press cookbook, so one of our favorites. It comes out July 6th, so it's after 4th of July weekend, but that's okay because I'm sure most of us are going to be camping throughout the summer. So some of the table of contents here, we have breakfast, sides and starches, meat, seafood, vegetables, desserts. I've grown up camping, and I lost some experiences because I would have never, ever, I can't even fathom cooking an apple and pear crumble over a fire. Like, that is just something I never grew up with. We always would have, you know, we didn't even have desserts. Or for breakfast, we never, you know, we didn't have these awesome, like a quiche or something. We just didn't do that. We had like a cereal and milk. That's all we had.
You know, that makes sense because you have a knife if you're camping, hopefully, and so you just cut the apple up and throw some crumble that you could keep in a little Ziploc in your bag and throw it over the top and butter.
Yeah. So, and yeah, we had some special breakfast, but usually, you know, we had 5 kids and 2 adults, so the adults kind of had the more elaborate breakfast and we were kind of stuck with the cereal. But now that I know using your cast iron, which I have a whole bunch of, and being able to take that camping and using that for more awesome dishes, even for more people too, for exactly like if you had 5 kids and it was you and 5 children, like that would be great to just have with you.
I have to interrupt with a question. When you're bringing cast iron with you to camping, I hope you're not backpacking. That's car camping, right? Because that's heavy.
Goodness. Yeah, I would not be hiking with cast iron. But some people I'm sure would, like, and I would love to hear about that. And that would probably be a whole other cooking experience. That would be the bare minimum. This cookbook goes through 100 awesome recipes for open fire, camp stoves, and grills too. Like, this isn't just something that you only need to use for camping. Like, you can do this for your backyard or on your grill too. And it emphasizes a lot of making healthy choices. So finding ways of cooking awesome vegetables and grain even, and that's not just sugar filled, that would be super awesome. So I really like this, and learning to actually cook over the fire with a cast iron is a whole other skill in itself. So that is the Campfire Cast Iron Cookbook by Cider Mill Press.
And my final cookbook is the New Camp Cookbook, Gourmet Grub for Campers, Road Trippers, and Adventurers. I'm a road tripper. I'm not an adventurer. This one is by Linda Lee again, and Will Taylor is the photographer. And I'm going to take a peek. Like, why did she write another one? Because she likes it, I guess. Some of the recipes in this are Mexican street corn salad, tin foil seafood boil, Korean flank steak with sriracha pickled cucumbers.
Oh.
I'm assuming you pickle the cucumbers ahead of time because you won't have time when you're camping. And a Dutch oven deep dish soppressata and fennel pizza. And she promises that all recipes use a standard set of cookware to streamline your cooking in camp and are marked with icons to help you quickly find a suitable recipe for your cooking style.
Oh, that's
Does
awesome.
she have a recipe for Uber Eats and how to dial it? Because that's my cooking style. Let's see if I can peek inside the table of contents here. Yes. So she has a chapter on setting up a camp kitchen. That's very important. A chapter called Rise and Shine, and one of the examples is blueberry skillet scones with lemon glaze. The next chapter is midday meals, such as egg in a hole grilled cheese. There's small bites, including grilled guacamole, stone fruit salsa. There's an entire chapter on camp feasts. Apparently feasting is a thing. Grilled ratatouille skewers, I'm assuming those are vegetarian, or red lentil soup with carrot and cumin. I'm not really making soup while I'm camping, but maybe you are. And a chapter, a very important chapter, called Sips and Sweets, where she teaches you to make a paloma, a ruby red grapefruit shandy, or a honey Bremen lemonade. Yum.
That sounds good.
Love it. Let's see if I can peek at any pictures. Not really. Oh, there's one. I'm going to load it up. It's a cast iron skillet. Oh, it's the blueberry skillet scones with lemon glaze, and they look delicious. That's the New Camp Cookbook by Linda Lee.
And the final cookbook for the camping cookbook list here is Finding Fire, Cooking at its Most Elemental. This came out December 29. It's by Lennox Hasty, and I am looking forward to this because I remember watching on Netflix the Ugly Delicious show, and he was on there, and I was like, what? This looks beautiful. And this book is very technical. I'm looking through it right now, and there's things in here that I kind of like it. So it's not technical in a bad way. So for instance, we're learning how to cook with actual fire directly. And he has a temperature guide. So he has a list of fire. And then on the other column is temperature increasing, maximum temperature, and decreasing temperature. On the other portion, you have description, color, temperature range, heat feel. So this is really nice. This is something I definitely needed. So with like your fire, you learn about like your smoke, the color of the smoke, and what temperature range it'll probably be in based on the wood you're using. It's just that's
really cool.
It's very helpful. Yeah, there's just a lot of things in here I actually just never even knew about, how hot specific parts of the actual fire cycle is. That's just kind of fascinating to me. It also teaches you the basics of actually building a fire, lighting a fire, fire doors, how to actually use this book. That's nice. We also learn about wood you use with your fire, fire in history and culture. So this is definitely about fire, but there are recipes in here, don't you worry. He provides 80 recipes. So he says that celebrate the instinctive, focused cooking of ingredients at their simple best using one of the oldest, most fundamental cooking tools, fire. Some examples of these recipes are, he calls them calcots. That sounds familiar to me. Romesto hazelnuts. Interesting. We have broccoli, smoked eggplant puree, fermented chili brittle. This looks really good. Like, wow.
That sounds good. If it wasn't too spicy, because I'm a wimp.
There's a cauliflower, aged tallow, and hazelnut. This is actually quite veggie forward. I actually haven't seen any meat dishes so far. We have a pineapple, Thai basil, and ginger beer sorbet. Seriously, this is amazing. Blood orange upside down cake, all using fire. Ember baked cheese. This is beautiful. And the recipes in here, they have suggested wood type. Like I said, very technical. They have suggested wood type, the heat you're going to need for each of these recipes. They have the ingredients, and oddly, for how beautifully photographed all of these are, a lot of these don't require a lot of ingredients. And then special notes, like things that you might want to keep in mind, or just technical bits. It's very helpful, very cool cookbook. It's quite stunning. I highly recommend it, especially if you are brand new to cooking at fire, aka myself. definitely check out Finding Fire, Cooking at its Most Elemental. It's by Lennox Hasty.
I think I'm going to grab it for next time we have a 10-day power outage here in Washington State. I can just cook over the fire if it's not raining or snowing.
Yeah, no, that would just be really cool. Yeah, and you can totally use this in your backyard. That'd just be super awesome.
Thank you for listening to this mini-sode from Cookbook Divas about our camping and camper and backyard cooking cookbooks. Stay tuned for more mini-sodes and our regular episodes, which post on Fridays. You can also see my cookbook look-throughs and reviews on video over on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and occasionally Pinterest over at Cookbook Divas. And if you like to read about cookbooks, stop by our blog at cookbookdivas.com